welcome you to Allen Fieldhouse on the campus of the University of Kansas. Big 12 conference encounter, Texas 15-3 for the year. The Kansas Jayhawks, one of 3 remaining undefeated teams in the country. This is the only meeting this year between these two. Verne Lundquist along with Kellogg. We're kind of looking forward to this.
One of the most special venues in all of basketball. I don't care what level. History, tradition, classy, knowledgeable fans, and big-time basketball teams.
Markieff Morris steals it, taps it to his twin brother Marcus. Balbe picks up Tyshawn Taylor.
Man-to-man defense for Texas. We asked Rick Barnes prior to the game, would we see any zone? He said maybe a few possessions.
Tyrell Reed puts it on the floor, comes back outside. It's Jordan Hamilton on Reed. Now Reed from way downtown.
You can't give him any room. Hamilton backed off too much, Verne. You've got to crowd a three-point shooter and chase him off the line.
This is Corey Joseph, the freshman. Back to Gary Johnson, jumper from Hamilton. Strong, Reed to the rebound. Gets it in the hands of Tyshawn Taylor.
I think Taylor's play is going to be really important as a point guard. His assist-to-turnover ratio, not where you'd like to see it in conference play. He's got to do a good job, not just defensively, but getting other people's shots.
Selby in the lane. 5-0. Here's Doge Balbe, the senior. Entry pass, double team. The Morris twins. Markieff Morris with the rebound. Here's Taylor again. Why not?
Wow.
Nothing. Jumper, Joseph, no. Reed with another rebound, loose ball. Balbe decides not to attempt a shot. Tristan Thompson is fouled.
And he had a shot, Verne.
Yeah.
Balbe, after that offensive rebound, could have gotten to the basket for a layup. Elected to pass. Texas fortunate that a foul was committed.
Foul is on Markieff Morris. Non-shooting foul. First of the game. There's Rick Barnes. 13th year head coach. University of Texas.
The Longhorns have gotten 3 good shots, Verne. They just haven't made them. Kansas has gotten 3 good ones, and they haven't missed.
Nice spin move, Johnson. But the ball's loose, and here's Reed. And he gathers another one. Tyrell Reed, the senior, into the hands of Markieff Morris. Marcus Morris stepped on the line.
Ran out of room there, tried to shoehorn himself along the baseline. A good job defensively that time by Texas. Very interested to watch the matchup inside between the Morris twins, Tristan Thompson, and Gary Johnson. All 4 really good inside players. Nice job defensively by Taylor.
Throws it away. And at the other end, here's Selby. No! Saved by Taylor. And a foul is going to be called on Balbe.
That's a case of where Selby has to understand where he is. He took off a little too soon and didn't get the elevation he needed from the launching pad. That's when you lay it up.
Or you lay an egg.
Yeah, exactly. One or the other. He did the latter.
Team foul on Balbe, or team foul number 1.
You never like to be rim jammed. We'll hear about that from his partner.
Oh, my goodness. Reed looks inside for Marcus Morris. Guarded by Gary Johnson. Boy, he has been on a tear. There's a rare miss. And Johnson has the rebound for Texas.
You're right. 25 points a game for Marcus Morris in his last 4, along with 10 rebounds a game, Verne.
Hamilton, Thompson, there's the double team again.
Hard double team. They do it big to big. Good job by Thompson to dribble out of it and face the defense.
Texas still looking for its first basket. There's the hedge, the steal. Here's Selby. What do you think? Yeah.
He got some interference. He got some interference that time. One for Morris is Marquis. Lucky he didn't get whistled for an offensive foul because he almost blocked the Texas defender out of the play.
Rick Barnes going to wait for the television timeout now. Knocked away. Nice job. Texas has turned it over 3 times. Last 3 possessions. Thomas Robinson is on the floor. It is hard to imagine the grief in his heart. Thomas Robinson's mom, Lisa, died last night. They think a heart attack. She was 38 years old. His grandmother passed away 3 weeks ago. His maternal grandmother, Shirley. He was back. He missed a game to go back for her funeral. And Thomas Robinson will leave after this game to go back home. Nice job of blocking it. Morningstar's on the floor. And finally, Texas gets its first basket of the game.
And that time going inside to Jordan Hamilton, Verne, who was able to retrieve the miss. High-low action. Inside basket by Marcus Morris, and Kansas really in a good rhythm right now, Verne.
Time call. We're back at Allen Fieldhouse. Rick Barnes. A little teaching moment here for his team as offensively they're 1 of 5, and they've given Kansas 5 of 8, or Kansas has made 5 of 8 from the field. It's a beautiful start if you're a Jayhawk fan.
Without question, they made their first 3, Verne. A couple of 3-pointers in those first 3 makes. 8-0 right off the bat. And it took a while for Texas to get a basket, turned it over 3 times, and finally got one inside from Jordan Hamilton. But the intensity level very good for Kansas at both ends of the floor. Texas got good shots, and Rick Barnes elected not to call a timeout in that first few minutes, relaxed, and is hoping that his team will just simply weather the unbelievable storm put on by the Jayhawks.
15:45 to go first half. And the substitution now for the University of Texas. Jacobin Brown, number 14, has come on the floor. And I think I saw Matt Hill out there.
He
did. Number 21. So Hill and Brown, Hamilton, Tristan Thompson, and Marcus Morris is at the line.
Shooting 1, Marcus Morris.
He's a 75% free throw shooter, Verne, and there's not anything he can't do offensively. He can shoot the 3. He can beat you with his back to the basket. He can go over both shoulders, and he's a pretty good defensive player as well.
Joseph. Jordan Hamilton, who's guarded by Brady Morningstar, who is the defensive specialist of this Kansas team. And Thomas Robinson grabs a rebound.
Big-time board. Kansas doing a nice job with their man-to-man defensive pressure. Everybody in sync, good pressure on the ball, and guys not guarding the ball are in position to help.
Reed, he's got 1, now he's got 2. From 3. And Robinson fouls Thompson at the other end.
A little slow getting back in transition defense that time by Kansas. And Thompson able to get behind him. Robinson made a nice play not to give up the 2 points because Thompson, a very poor free throw shooter, so an excellent foul. You know, fouls are kind of like cholesterol. They're good. There's some good ones and bad ones. That was a good foul. That was good cholesterol foul there.
Every week, I just wait. Well, he cans the first one. He gets to the line more often than any other player for Texas, but he only makes 49% of his shots.
That's an area he has to improve on in addition to the mid-range jump shot. But he's going to have to rework his shooting form and mechanics during the offseason to get that done.
Hits the average, 1 of 2. Robinson with a rebound. Morningstar, Robinson, Reed, Taylor, and Marcus Morris. Morningstar looks inside, screen. Tyrell Reed. Here's Marcus Morris. His baseline. Kicks it out. Morningstar for two. Wow. Too far. Robinson did hit it last for Kansas. It'll be Texas ball. Inbound, rejected. Morris into the hands of Tyrell Reed. We welcome all of you to Allen Fieldhouse in Lawrence, Kansas, where Kansas has been torrid from the get-go. That's a first miss of a three for Tyrell Reed. The score 18-3. Jayhawks got off to a quick 10-0 lead. It was 12-2 at the first time out, taken under 16 minutes, and they just kept it up. Thomas Robinson with the foul. Let's check the players who are on the court for Texas on the left. Jacobin Brown, Corey Joseph, Jordan Hamilton, Matt Hill, and Thompson. And for the Jayhawks, Taylor Morningstar, Tyrell Reed, Marcus Morris, and Thomas Robinson. And at the line, Thompson, where he is a 1 of 2 shooter for the season.
Yep, makes about 49% of his tries there. That's an area that he has to get better at. He worked religiously on his form and got the roll there. But you mentioned it. Rick Barnes told us Kansas he thought was the best team in the country because of its offensive versatility. And we've seen it all here in the early going, Verne. They've made threes, they've made the extra pass, they've gotten it to the Morrises inside, and they really make it tough for you to take away anything because they have such versatility on the offensive end. And the defense has been stifling as well. Texas got 3 or 4 good shots early that they missed, and they have not gotten a good look at the basket since then.
Well, Kansas coming off perhaps its best performance. They won on the road by 31 against Baylor. Texas also comes off its best game of the year. They knocked off Texas A&M. And there's an air ball from the corner for Josh Selby. So it's an undefeated Kansas team, 18-0, against a 15-3 Longhorn team in the only meeting this year between these two. It's the unbalanced schedule for the last year of the Big 12.
And both teams undefeated in conference play after 3 games as well.
Both are 3-0. High screen set by Hill.
Look at the aggressive heads, though, and the rotation. That's a good look for Jacobin Brown.
In and out. And into the hands of Mario Little, who was reactivated by this team 3 games ago. He sat out 6 because of some legal difficulties he found himself in. And there's a bump from Hill. Don't travel before the bump.
Well, a couple of questionable possessions for Kansas after that torrid start. A quick shot by Selby, and then the turnover by Morris as he doesn't have his feet together. Texas just wants to weather the storm. I mean, it's been a big storm, the way Kansas has gotten out of the gates here. But you knock down a couple of threes or get something inside, you're right back in it. That's off left.
Yep, Johnson off the rim. Texas now 1 of 9, Clark, from the field.
And again, they got 4 really good shots, I thought, early on that didn't go. And since then, everything's been challenged.
Another air ball, Selby. A collision, 2 players are down. Well, we're down to 3 now. Undefeated Ohio State comes from behind and wins at Illinois today. San Diego State idle until their big game in Provo against Brigham Young on Wednesday night. And Kansas 18-0 for the 6th time in the rich traditional history of this school.
Yep, and they've won 69 straight here at Allen Fieldhouse. That was an impressive win for the Ohio State Buckeyes at Illinois. The first week, the Buckeyes ranked #1, and they go on the road and get a huge win.
Texas ranked #2. Nice spin move, Corey Joseph. And the freshman guard from Toronto gets 2. So 18-7.
Very important, Verne, that Texas just continue to grind away. Don't panic. It's a long game. You've got to continue to trust your defense, be aggressive, and try to get Kansas out of that rhythm that it enjoyed for the first 7 minutes in this one.
Back outside, Elijah Johnson, number 15, throws it away. And here comes Jacobin Brown. Brady Morningstar knocks it out. Time has been taken. Welcome back to Lawrence, where Clark alluded to the fact that the Jayhawks going after win number 70 in a row. The second longest streak currently active is that of Duke. And then you've got Kentucky with 28.
That's right.
Bill Self is in his 8th year as a head coach here. How about his gaudy record at home? 123-6.
He's had an outstanding run as a head coach at Tulsa and also at Illinois, and here at Kansas. He's been terrific as well.
Another air ball. Here's Selby, the freshman guard. Tyrell Reed, number 14. He's guarded by Gary Johnson. Tyson Taylor, the point.
Good job by Gary Johnson to close out on Tyrell Reed with the high hands, trying to dissuade that catch and shoot from behind the arc.
Back to Reed, who's hit 2 threes early gone. Selby lobbed it.
Undecided, indecisiveness. Squeeze it with 2 hands, use the pump fake, see where the defense is, and then pass it away from him.
Josh Selby coming off a pretty decent game at Baylor, but the one before that against Nebraska at home. No points, 4 turnovers, no assists.
Well, his last 4 games, Verne, 5 points, 14, 3 points, 12. Typical of a freshman. There will be some volatility in the performance. That's part of maturing at the highest level of Division I basketball.
Texas with 3 misses from point-blank range. They've hit 2 baskets in this ballgame. Meanwhile, Kansas showing all of you until just the last couple of minutes why they're number 1 in the country in field goal percentage. And Kansas, Texas, the last 2 undefeated early on here in the Big 12. And as we mentioned, this is the only meeting this year between the 2 of them.
Texas A&M, nice start. Surprising to many of us that they've been as good as they have been under Mark Turgeon, but they've got a sophomore, Chris Middleton, who is having some kind of season.
That was the senior Morningstar off the glass, 4-2. And it's a 13-point margin yet again. Now here's Jay Lucas, number 10, of the prominent Lucas family in basketball, transferred from Florida.
Against good defensive pressure, Verne, the way Kansas is going to close out and pressure the ball and fight you in the post, you've got to be strong with your screens. You've got to make sure you space the floor, and you've got to be crisp, sharp, and intentional about everything. You can't be hesitant at all. And right now, Texas, I think, is a little tentative. They've got to be aggressive. You've got to take that ball off the dribble and try to beat your guy, and then be strong with your passes and be ready to catch and shoot.
Non-shooting foul. Second foul on Markieff Morris. Oh, nice job. Wow.
Well done by Tristan Thompson. He got around Thomas Robinson, who didn't move his feet that time in the low post.
Here's Taylor. Back to Marcus Morris. Markieff has taken his seat on the bench with 2 fouls. We might not see him again this half. Here's Reed. Hot hand early. Marcus Morris wants it. Gary Johnson gives him a little bump from behind.
Nice job defensively.
Pick and roll. Back to Morris for 3. In off the rim. Thomas Robinson with the follow. Thomas Robinson playing with an extraordinarily heavy heart. His mom, Lisa, died last night. They think a heart attack at the very young age of 38. Robinson lost his maternal grandmother, Shirley, only 3 weeks ago. And there's Jacobin Brown.
Verne, you talk about Thomas Robinson, and my heart just breaks. Our thoughts and prayers go out to that young man, to his family, that they'll be strengthened by each other. But that's a terrible burden to be carrying. And maybe this couple of hours, a bit of a respite for him, but the hard part is still ahead.
Yeah. And they may have gotten Robinson with a foul. Tyrell Reed hit that 3. Thomas Robinson is from the Washington, D.C. area, and it gets even worse. His grandfather, and I don't know whether paternal or maternal, but his grandfather passed away while they were playing at Baylor the other night. So he takes a seat on the bench, and Mario Little comes in, number 23. Didn't quite get the roll, knocked out of bounds by Tristan Thompson. So let's check those on the floor now. Tyshawn Taylor, Marcus Morris, Tyra Reed, Mario Little, and Brady Morningstar for the undefeated and second-ranked Kansas Jayhawks. Loose ball, out of bounds. Texas will inbound it.
After a really sharp and crisp start by the Jayhawks, they've become a bit untidy. The bed has been unmade a little bit. They've rushed on their shots, 1 or 2 passes, and 4 shots. They've got to get back to playing with the rhythm they enjoyed in the first 7.5, 8 minutes. Some of that you have to attribute to Texas, though. The defense has been solid.
In the lane, traveling. Kansas, just to underline your point, started 7 of 10. 3 of their last 9. Kansas jumped out to a 10-0 lead before most of you were with us, and ultimately we're out 18-3. They had just an incredibly effective start.
Well, they pass it inside and then kick it back outside to Reed. Trailing three-pointer by Morris. Defensive pressure leading to an open court pass by Selby. They really were clicking on all cylinders, moving the ball, spacing themselves, making it really tough for Texas to defend them effectively. 6 assists on those 10 made field goals, but after starting 7 of 10, they've only gone 3 of their last 9.
Well, if you're into numbers, how about this? 4 of 17 for Texas. Backdoor cut, beautiful. Wonderful find by an awkward position for Brady Morningstar.
Well, he had his head up, knew where his teammate was, and they caught Texas relaxing defensively. Can Texas get the ball inside to Tristan Thompson in one-on-one coverage?
Jordan
Double
Hamilton,
team.
yep. Johnson stripped. Thompson grabs the loose ball.
No double here, so he's got to go to work, and he does. Nicely done by the freshman. T-squared, making him pay for not doubling up on him in the low post.
2 freshmen in the starting lineup for Texas, both from the Toronto area. Teammates at Finley Prep in Las Vegas. Here's Reed again. This time, what has become a rare miss. Outlet pass. Jordan Hamilton.
What a great pass by Jacobin Brown. He's had 11 assists in the first 3 Big 12 games, Verne, and has a 4-to-1 assist-to-turnover ratio, and you see why there. His head was up immediately when he got that defensive board.
Well, Jacobin Brown in the win over A&M, 6 assists, 1 turnover. And those 2, look at this. Here's Joseph leaking out. Not clean by Tyshawn Taylor. Texas ball. Take another look at this outlet pass.
Well, he gets it right away, and then his head is immediately up, Verne. And Hamilton behind the defense. An excellent pass, but it starts with getting your head up as soon as you get possession at the defensive end.
Missed by Hamilton. Texas ball again. This Texas team a year ago, hoping that there's not a repeat of what happened to them last year. Doesn't appear it will. They got off to a 17-0 start and then fell off the face of the earth. Wound up 7 and 10, went into the NCAAs 24 and 10 and lost in the first round of Wake Forest. And they're battling history. They have never won in Lawrence. Obviously, that means they've never won in this building. They're 0 for 7 at Allen Fieldhouse. Timeout taken by Kansas.
Well, it is time for Tradition 101. Today's lesson, what is rock chalk? Professor Lundquist, the floor is yours.
Oh, I feel like I'm back in the classroom. Well, see them in the background. It's one of the great chants in all of college basketball. Originally, it was called Rah Rah Jayhawk. Kansas had started in 1886. And just in case you know, Dr. E.H.S. Bailey, a professor of chemistry, suggested it. We'll give you all of it here.
Nicely done, Professor. Kansas has gotten away from its rhythm here, and you've got to give a lot of credit to Texas. They've controlled a tough shot. That's Marcus Morris doing what he does so well. Give his defenders nightmares. With the turnaround jumper, he can face you. Boy, he's got a very diverse offensive package.
Taylor threatens the double team. Off the glass, in and out.
Foul on number 32, Josh Selby's first personal foul, 6th team foul on the Jayhawks.
And Jacobin Brown will go to the line.
At the line is Jacobin Brown, shooting 2. Checking in the Jayhawk lineup,
Jeff Withey off the bench now for Mario Little. Withey, the 7-foot sophomore from San Diego, California. Jacobin Brown shoots one more.
I thought Withey showed really well in practice yesterday, Verne. He's mobile. He's got good skills. The knock on him has been his lack of physicality come game time. But I tell you what, if he can get that corrected, he's got a chance to really help this team.
10-point margin. McMorris. Oh, yes. Beautiful. Jordan Hamilton. Gary Johnson, jumper over Morris. No.
That's his shot right in that 12 to 17-foot range. And because Kansas will pay attention to Thompson, it'll be available for Johnson. He's got to knock it down. This guy's been something offensively the last couple of possessions, hasn't he? Marcus Morris. He can shoot the 3 if you don't get to him.
He started a current run, and that one doesn't fall. Out of bounds, Texas ball. Marcus Morris, we saw him 2 weeks ago in an overtime win in Michigan. Played superbly, and it's just continued through the start of Big 12 play now.
Well, how about this? 78% shooting on his 2-point field goals in the conference play. 33% on the 3-point line. 25 points and 10 rebounds a game in 3 conference games. And 13 offensive rebounds.
There's a hook. And they call it offensively, I believe, yes, on Thompson.
Yep.
No, traveling, I beg your pardon. I thought he hooked him.
Could have gone either way.
Yeah.
He's fortunate they did not call the foul. It's turnover nonetheless.
Morningstar will inbound. Thompson will sit down. And Alexei Wanmeni is on the floor. You and I remember the performance he had
outstanding
in December in the win at North Carolina. 9 rebounds in 15 minutes. He just was terrific.
That's a lot of glass eating, partner. Important for Texas now to stay solid defensively and show a little more patience at the offensive end to try to finish this half in a strong fashion.
Kansas ball tipped out of bounds by Texas.
Kansas, on the other hand, Verne, would like to continue to play through Marcus Morris, although that's not going to be possible because Bill Self, I think, going to give him a chance to get a little added rest because the under 4 media timeout is coming up, so he'll have some extended rest time on the bench without actually losing a bunch of game time.
Game clock, shot clock, I beg your pardon. There is an issue. Well, how about the consecutive tournament appearances in the NCAA tournament? Kansas with 21 straight, Duke 15, and the Longhorns under Rick Barnes going after their 13th consecutive appearance.
People probably looking at that graphic would be surprised by Gonzaga and Wisconsin. I don't think those names would have rolled off your tongue quite as easily as the other ones.
That's why I didn't get down there. Withey rebound. Boy, Texas is trying to find some way to the basket. Here's Morningstar jumper. Tip, no. On the floor, saved by Wanmeni.
I think Texas just has to slow down a little bit. They're idling a little too fast here. He can get going. Jacobin Brown, that's a pretty good look early in the offense.
Corey Joseph saved the long rebound. Hamilton, nope.
That's not as good a look. You get a second chance opportunity. You want to try to move the defense there.
Texas now 7 for 25 from the field. Withey, number 5. Taylor, number 10, guarded by Joseph. Jumper, Mario Little. Yes, that's for 2. Timeout. Texas. Well, we all know know the Big East plays a pretty good brand of basketball.
How about
Look
that?
at this.
Man, that's something. The Big Ten, next in line, the Big 12. And it's spread out after that. But the Big East, again, having a very strong year thus far.
33-19 here at Allen Fieldhouse. This facility seats 16,300. This is the 155th consecutive sellout here.
Let's see if Texas can get a few more passes before they cast up a shot here.
Foul away from the ball. Time call. We'll be right back. And Mr. Kellogg, it's time to take a look at your AT&T in-game analysis.
Well, Texas usually holds teams to right around 40% field goal shooting. Kansas doing what it typically does. Pretty good job so far taking care of the ball. Tristan Thompson, 7 points. We talked about Hamilton, the leading scorer for Texas. He's had a tough day. And then Tyrell Reed, a lot of times in these games with evenly matched teams, you look at the top scorers, and you need somebody from those secondary scorers or supporting cast to rise up. It's been that guy for Kansas today, Tyrell Reed. He got off to a nice start. And Tristan Thompson doing what he can, but if Texas is going to have a chance to get back in it, to close this half and going into the second half, Jordan Hamilton's going to have to find his groove.
And he gets the first of a 1-and-1. Off to a slow start, 5 points here in the early going. And as Clark said early on, averaging better than 20 in conference play. And it's, well, what the heck, he's 19.7 for the season.
Yeah,
so
that's right on the numbers. And he can get it going quickly as you see Doge Balbe coming back on the floor, replacing the freshman Chris Joseph.
And a little pressure applied by Texas.
Sorry, Corey Joseph. I got my wires crossed. I'm thinking Syracuse there.
It's his cousin.
It's his cousin, yes. They're still in the family, but
yeah. And then I must tell you, Elijah Johnson didn't finish the play. Scoop shot at the other end, Balbe.
You love that because Balbe had a layup at the start of this game that he passed up. That time he took it right to the rim.
In the lane, Little off the front edge. Texas, they've got it to 10. Since they fell behind 10-0, they've not been in this game in single digits as a difference. And they've got a chance on this possession.
And don't underestimate the importance of that, Verne. Struggling as they have to shoot the ball, if it could be single digits at halftime, they'd consider it a victory.
Jacobin Brown, Matt Hill, Balbe, Jordan Hamilton. Traveling again. Coming up on AT&T at the half, Tim Brando and Seth Davis. We'll get you caught up on all of today's action. That's coming up on AT&T at the half. 97 seconds away as Kansas leads it over Texas in this battle of the powers in the Big 12. Taylor. Tyrell Reed has 9 points in the game. Passes on the shot.
And got them all pretty early, Verne. Texas doing a much better job closing out on him on balance with high hands.
Marcus Morris, a miss from 16. Balbe. And another chance now for Texas to get into the single digit. Oh, stolen by Morningstar. There's just no atmosphere at home. It's really a dormant crowd. Wow, it's a great place.
It is a fabulous place, and the home team playing at a pretty high level for the most part here. They had one segment of a few minutes of impatient offense, inefficient offense, but a strong start, and it looks like a pretty good finish.
Rick Barnes is over with Doug Shows, and they're reviewing the last play.
Well, the foul was called on Texas. Let's take a look right into the... I think they got it on... Oh, they called it on Hamilton. As he went in there trying to break through contact. His hands were up and maybe a little overzealous with His upper body there. Let's look at it again. Wow. I'm not sure, Verne. I mean, it was contact clearly. Hamilton gets whistled for the foul. I don't know if I agree with that one there. He went through with his hands up. That's what the coaches are saying there. But maybe Doug Schau saw something in the intent.
Well, Rick is arguing the case, so was Hamilton.
Unless they're trying to claim that it was an elbow. That clearly doesn't fall in line with the excessive swinging of the elbow. So I'm lost there. I didn't think that was a... Doug just came over and explained it to us. An offensive foul. No elbow, just an offensive foul.
Did that change your mind?
No.
His explanation?
I mean, I'm glad he gave me the explanation, but I still disagree with the call. I thought it was fairly incidental contact, and if anything, perhaps Reed should have been whistled for the foul.
Texas has turned it over the last 3 possessions. Tough shot. Boy, Matt Hill had really good defensive position. Thompson looking at the alley-oop. No basket traveling again. Well, we know you're ready for this one. The Jets and the Steelers. Supposed to be 18 degrees, light snow at game time tomorrow. Perfect.
It should be a dandy. The Jets trying to make it 3 straight on the road to get to the Super Bowl. I think the Steelers did that a few years back, didn't they? And got it done. So it's doable. Should be a terrific matchup.
Well, the Jets have disposed of Peyton Manning and Tom Brady on the road. And tomorrow they get a guy named Roethlisberger.
They kind of like this place doesn't have any atmosphere. The Jets don't have any swagger, do they?
No, not at all. It's a very quiet team. Morning Star. Texas squandering opportunities to get into single digits, and Kansas going to play for the final shot of the first half. They led 18-3, their largest lead. And here's Taylor, rejected. 3 seconds to go. Balbe.
I don't know if he knew.
No.
He didn't appear as though he knew.
Clean block by Brady Morningstar. And Rick Barnes still going to come out and talk about his perception that things didn't go Texas' way. Tim Brando after this message. CBS Sports College basketball coverage is sponsored by the 2011 Fusion from Ford. Get in and drive one. Jack Link's Beef Jerky. Feed your wild side. And by State Farm. With 18,000 agents, we've got the best lineup in the game. We are back in Lawrence, the only meeting of the year between the Jayhawks, ranked number 2, leading Texas 35-23. Clark, let's take a look at the Powerade complete breakdown of the first half.
Well, you see Texas only 31% shooting, Verne, and then the points off turnovers. Texas had 9 turnovers. KU got 6 points off of those, and the defense of Kansas really stifled Texas at the offensive end of the floor, and Kansas winning the 3-point field goal game handily.
Well, how about Jordan Hamilton's first half?
Well, it was a tough struggle. He was playing a little too fast. He only made 2 and got those right at the rim. And he's an excellent perimeter shooter, but I think he was going a little too fast, as were his teammates. They've got to settle down and execute better. Marcus Morris got his stuff done in the paint area. He got a good number of shot attempts, and that's what you like to see if you're Kansas. We're going to take a look at how Kansas shows you some of its offensive versatility. We're going to call this Jayhawk gap. Against the zone, going to penetrate the gaps, get that ball off the dribble into the seam, and also run a little weave action. Every guy that gets it is trying to get into the seam. You make some pseudo penetration here, and then you get it out to Brady Morningstar, and he's able to get to the basket off the screen.
Johnson scoreless in the first half. Entry pass, Hamilton off the front rim. Rebound, Markeith Morris. Played only 8 minutes in the first half. He picked up early foul trouble. He's got 2. Thomas Robinson has 2. Nobody from Texas in foul difficulty in the game. Tyshawn Taylor underneath. Tyrell Reed takes the soft jumper. No. And this could be an offense. No. They're going to get Johnson.
Yep, Marcus Morris had excellent weak side rebounding position, and it was Gary Johnson trying to push him off his spot. Texas doing a much better job of getting to Tyrell Reed. They ran him off the 3-point line that time. I think it's the offensive end of the floor. I mean, Kansas got 35 points. They shot it fairly well. But Texas really was out of rhythm, impatient on offense, not making enough passes, not being crisp enough with its cuts. They've got to pick that up.
Here's the penetration, the kick in the corner. Selby, kind of a quiet first half for him. There's Morris, short, loose ball, on the floor, traveling. Corey Joseph got it, but then he slid for 3 feet.
Exactly. You like the hustle there. An unfortunate break. Actually, Gary Johnson had that rebound and couldn't corral it initially.
Valve guarding the inbound pass. Here's Marcus Morris, 3 of 10 from the field. Gary Johnson, quick hands. Here's Joseph, 2-on-2. Back outside, Hamilton, offense. Absolutely.
Case in point. But Corey Joseph passed Jordan Hamilton into that turnover. You've got to center the ball and try to allow the lanes to get filled. That was a one-sided fast break. You can't run an effective one-sided fast break. You have to have your options on both sides. In that case, Joseph needed to dribble a little slower and let that opposite wing get filled. And that didn't happen. Hamilton had nowhere to go.
Ball with the steal. Whoa.
That's a guy who actually has had 2 torn ACLs.
Yes.
One each leg, and has recovered nicely and showed you right there he's got a little bounceability as well. Another way Texas can get back into this, Verne, is to score in transition. Get some points off its defense so they don't have to face the half-court defense of Kansas.
Marquise Morris misses from 15 feet. Here's Valade.
Yep, really try to attack early.
Back outside, Johnson, Jordan Hamilton, and Marquise Morris just picked up his 3rd foul.
Yeah, he only played 8 minutes in that first half because he had the 2 fouls, Verne. And he very well could be sitting. Actually, he will be sitting right now as Josh Shelby going to take a seat. Brady Morningstar had a really nice half, scored 6 points off the bench. So with Selby struggling, Bill Self's going to go right back to Morningstar. And then Thomas Robinson replaces Marquise Morris.
And Robinson is playing with 2 fouls. Oh, it's a tough. Boy, they're tough defensively.
They really are.
Yep.
You know, in the practice yesterday that we watched, Bill Self and his Kansas Jayhawks talked about blowing it up.
Yes.
Basically getting after Texas defensively. And so far, they have blown up everything that Texas has wanted to do offensively in the half court.
Well, you heard Seth Davis at the half praising their defensive effort. Just to underline that, this is a team that in 18 games has held 6 opponents to under 60 points.
And in 126 of the last 128 games, nobody has shot over 50% against them.
Right. Jumper Johnson, it's not there for him today.
Totally out of rhythm. Didn't catch it cleanly, and as a result, overshot it.
0 for 5 today from Gary Johnson, the senior, who averages 12 per game.
I'll tell you what, Verne, I mean, as poorly as Texas has been offensively, it's a 10-point game.
Yes.
I mean, it's virtually a 3-possession game.
Still. After that miss from Tyshawn Tatum. Joseph. The feed, Balde. He'll go to the free throw line. NFL tomorrow, the AFC Championship game from Pittsburgh. The New York Jets on the road in the playoffs. Done pretty well, and they'll let you know that they've done pretty well. But it all adds to the anticipation of the game. Wonder who Bill Cowher's picking in that one. Well, we'll find out tomorrow on the pregame show.
We probably know where his heart is.
You bet, Balde. This is not a particularly good free throw shooting team. Texas 65% for the year. Here's Robinson, picked up his 3rd. We mentioned earlier his mother, Lisa, passed away last night. It's believed it was a heart attack. His grandmother, Shirley, passed away 3 weeks ago. So the degree of grief must be unimaginable. It is unimaginable.
What we could imagine. Yeah. Our thoughts and prayers go out to the family in a terribly difficult time.
Morningstar.
Oh!
Goaltend.
When the ball hits the backboard above the rim with a chance to go in, if you touch it as a defender, automatically goaltending. Nice drive. He gets the baseline. It's well above the cylinder, hits the glass. Easy call.
There's the jumper, Tristan Thompson. Tyrell Reed had position and is fouled over the back.
Well, that's a case where you'd like to see Tristan Thompson not give up the post position he had. I mean, he ended up catching it in a good spot, but by the time he shot it, he was fading away. He went from 4 feet from the hoop to 7 feet after that shot.
37-26 after the Valvey free throw. Texas did get it. Oh, there's another steal.
Got to convert in transition here.
3-on-1. Jordan Hamilton and Morningstar fouled him. So Jordan Hamilton's going to go to the line and shoot 2. But first, we're going to step aside. When you come to Kansas, you inevitably talk a lot about the tradition of the game. Dr. James Naismith, the founder of this sport, wrote the original 10 rules, and those 10 rules came up for auction last fall. David Booth, one of the great benefactors in Kansas history, an alum, bid $4.3 million. He was successful. He got the rules, and they are going to be housed here at the Kansas University, the special thing that's going to be constructed. Now, here's the irony. David Booth lives in Austin.
That's right. I talked to him, met his son Chandler, both of them prior to the game. And you're right, they just came over for the game here and are heading back afterwards. So he said he had both sides of this thing covered.
Yeah. Well, I chatted with him a little earlier too, Clark, and he said he learned after the auction was complete. Now, keep in mind, $4.3 million. It was a telephone auction, blind. And he learned after he had successfully won the right to purchase the rules that a friend of his was bidding against him. And they didn't know that the other was on the line.
Wow.
And the friend said to David Booth, I think I cost you a little money.
David Booth seems happy to have spent it. Yep. And it's fitting that those rules will be here.
He's got it. Go.
You can build your own basketball dynasty and compete year-round with CBSSports.com. Franchise basketball on Facebook. Find out more at CBSSports.com/franchise. Foul was on Marcus Morris. Valvey guarded by Reed. Jumper. Well, Hamilton goes underneath, and Texas just cannot buy one.
Well, it should have been a jumper.
Yeah.
Jordan Hamilton in the lane off a curl. You've got rebounding position. That shot needs to be taken. Not a bad pass, not a bad play, but the better play was the jump shot by Hamilton. This game is so physical right now. Both teams are having a tough time getting anything accomplished offensively because of how hard they play and how well they play defensively. That being the case, you've got to find ways for easy scores. Defense to offense, quick hitting in transition before the defense is set up, ball movement, those kinds of things, putbacks when you're facing staunch defensive efforts like we're seeing here today.
Morningstar will bring it across the timeline. Hamilton picks him up. Valvey's on Tyshawn Taylor. Jerry Johnson needs to get it done at the defensive end because it's not doing well offensively for him. Robinson is rejected. Texas has it. Hamilton puts it in the hand of Doge Valvey, the senior from Istanbul, Turkey. Johnson still hasn't gotten the ball to fall. But he does draw the foul and go to the free throw line.
That's a good result. The defense has been saran wrapped for the Jayhawks. Active feet and hands, physical in the post, forcing turnovers, bodying up, challenging shots. I mean, we saw him 2 weeks ago, Verne, and I thought the defensive effort was superb. As a matter of fact, talking to Bill Self, he said he thought they played as well defensively in that first half against Michigan as they had all season, and they've kind of duplicated that defensive effort here today.
Johnson gets the free throw. Thomas Robinson just picked up his 4th foul. Markeith Robinson sits on the bench with 3. Now this, I think it's fair to say, is a deeper team than Texas is.
I would agree with that.
They have, think about this, they've got 10 men on this team who average between 15 and 27 and a half minutes.
But Texas also will play 9 guys double-digit minutes as well. But the quality of the depth for Kansas, I think, a little better. Although the Robinson foul trouble is something to keep an eye on, because you know Texas is going to really try to attack the paint by throwing that ball into the post.
This is as close as Texas has been since Kansas jumped off and scored the first 10 points of this ball game.
14th foul on Texas.
Balbe picked up his 3rd. Rick Barnes, 13th year at Texas. Morning Star in the corner. Reed, catch and release. Money. Balbe, nowhere to go. Reed with the defense. Taylor was leaking. Now they find Taylor in the corner.
The fact that Balbe will penetrate, always looking to pass, is a huge disadvantage at times for Texas.
Joseph. That's going to be on Taylor.
You know, it basically allows the opponents to play 5-on-4.
Next Saturday, 1 o'clock Eastern, Minnesota against Purdue or Florida at Mississippi State. And then on Sunday, Clark and I will be at Madison Square Garden, Duke and St. John's, with Steve Lavin in his first year as the head coach at St. John's. And then that guy Krzyzewski is still at Duke.
Still doing this thing, and Lavin has certainly created some energy and buzz with how St. John's has played to this point. Should be a lot of fun next weekend.
Well, you know, we all know Steve. He was perfect for Los Angeles at UCLA. He's perfect for New York.
Well said.
St. John's.
Well said.
He's not a fit for Ames, Iowa.
Well, Rick Barnes made a nice substitution, and Jordan Hamilton going to get called for an unsportsmanlike technical after he made an excellent play to score the basketball. Showed some emotion, did some jaw jacking, and immediately Doug Shows hit him with the technical. Let's take a look. Post up. Good move, good basket. Oh, wow. Again, let's see here. Post up, foul, basket. A minor stare down. Boy, that's...
Yeah, it was out of frame. You couldn't see it.
Yeah, but that's really quick. Really quick. But I think if you're an official, you err on the side. Apparently, it was for language that we weren't able to detect there. And if that's the case, it's the right call.
Reed takes the technical free throw. Reed with one more. Now, it was interesting as his teammate, Jacobin Brown, got right in Jordan Hamilton's chest and said, get away, get back up.
Well, they know he's very high-strung, very emotional and passionate when he plays. And sometimes that can be both a strength and a weakness.
He shoots one. Got it.
In that case, it cost him. But it could be a sign of good things to come because he gets a basket in the low post. And a free throw. Sometimes you just need that ball to go in somewhere, sometime to get going.
Texas keeps chipping away. They trailed 18-3 early on. Mario Little. Oh, my goodness, but it's not going to count.
What an effort by Brady Morningstar to come from nowhere and get his hands on it, but I think he was on the back. Let's take a look. Running start. Yeah, he's clearly had his left hand in the back of Jordan Hamilton. Watch the left hand. But from that angle, you couldn't quite. There it is right there. He had the left arm pushed into the back. Not a lot of contact, but enough to warrant the whistle. But you like the effort there.
So Morningstar joins the group on the bench with his 3rd foul.
Big deal here, Verne. That's the 8th team foul on Kansas. Texas has only committed 5, so they've still got 1 to give before Kansas would shoot free throws.
And we mentioned they're not a particularly good free throw shooting team. Well, here's evidence to the contrary. They're now 13 of 16 in this game, and they're coming off 19 of 22 in the win over Texas A&M.
Excellent point. And they keep chipping away, as we've said. When you can defend, you typically aren't going to get blown out.
Matt Hill will give Hamilton a rest. Hamilton is a perfect 7 of 7 at the line. And the margin of difference is 7 points with 13:35 to go. Texas and Kansas undefeated against a 15-3 team. And a big traveling Mario Little.
Well, you've really got to be intentional about keeping that foot down when you're going to make that quick jab step move on the catch.
Corey Joseph runs the point. Matt Hill, the senior, has already graduated. This is Johnson. Jacobin Brown, he's guarded by Selby, the freshman. Gary Johnson yet to score from the field. Now the drought ends.
Muscled himself in there. The fact that Robinson is in foul trouble, Markieff Morris is on the bench, that allowed Gary Johnson to go against one defender his size, and he beat him.
There are only 3 left as we've gone by the midway point of the season. The Ohio State Buckeyes came from behind one today. The Jayhawks in a battle with Texas, trying to win their 19th in a row. San Diego State with the weekend off. They've got a game at BYU on Wednesday. Okay, which one of these 3 is going to go undefeated this year?
Nada.
Nada.
It's too hard. The distractions are too great. The buildup is too much. And the quality of competition you face, particularly when you play. I think the Mountain West is an outstanding league as well. So not just to single out the Big Six, but clearly there's just too much balance across college basketball and no dominant teams. And as a result, none of them will go undefeated. Foul trouble, a real issue here, particularly for Kansas. You see Robinson and Markieff Morris with a combined 7. Morningstar's had a terrific game today off the bench. He too with 3 fouls. Texas in no significant foul trouble and should have an advantage in trying to get that ball inside. Somebody's been whistled for a technical here.
It's Morris. Marcus Morris. They got T. So 1 technical on Hamilton, 1 on Marcus Morris. Now he's arguing with Doug Shows.
It's been a very heated, intense physical game, and emotions can run hot.
The personal foul was on Matt Hill, the technical on Morris. So Jacobin Brown, oh boy.
Actually, he had not missed a free throw coming into today's game in Big 12 play. It only taken 6.
87% for the year, 1 of 2. And we're told from the scorer's bench that the technical for unsportsmanlike conduct.
Yeah, that can be language, it can be taunting.
An 8-2 run by Texas. They're trailing by 4.
Kansas has had 5 turnovers already in the first 7+ minutes of this second half, and they had 5 all of the first half. Very physical. The officials have to continue to call it tight and close, and the players have to adjust.
They got Matt Hill again, big on big, and
that's the 7th team foul now, so Texas over the limit.
Markieff Morris will go to the line. One of the Twins, limited minutes today because of foul trouble, but
at the line, shooting 1.
Robinson's on the bench with 4, so Morris is playing with 3 fouls.
Well, both of these teams average in the 70s coming into the game. We probably won't get there today because of the nature of the defenses. Although both of these teams can be explosive offensively. Kansas with its versatility, inside, outside action, plus the 3-point shot. Texas not as prolific from the 3-point line, but in Jacobin Brown and Jordan Hamilton, who's on the bench right now, they've got a couple of guys that can get it done.
Well, let's check the 5 on the floor for Texas. It's Joseph, Jacobin Brown, Matt Hill, Tristan Thompson, and Gary Johnson. Here's Hill. Markieff Morris out to defend him. Taylor picks up Corey Joseph. Tristan Thompson, Marcus Morris. The double, and a foul is called. Well, question for you, several as a matter of fact. Who's got the new #1 show, the #1 new comedy, the #1 news program, the #1 comedy overall, and the #1 drama? Only CBS, America's most watched network. Double bonus now. And here's Thompson, who struggles, as we pointed out. 49% from the line for the year, so he's got one more here. One of two. Balbe comes back on. Corey Joseph, the freshman from Toronto, will get a rest.
Well, I think we're going to see a steady diet of smash-mouth basketball both ways. Kansas always tries to throw it inside, and they'll play inside-out. Texas will try to get it into Tristan Thompson every chance they get in the half court.
Mario Little, Marquise Morris. Marcus Morris, who gets the ball. And a foul is going to be called on Tristan Thompson. So Marcus Morris is going to go to the line. But first, we'll take a break. CBS Sports College basketball coverage is sponsored by Lexus. This is the hard way. This is the pursuit of perfection. Triple hops brewed Miller Lite. Taste greatness. And by Ritz, open for fun. Kansas has won 5 national titles in all. The two on the left, 22 and 23, awarded retroactively by the Helms Foundation. There was no such thing as an NCAA title back then. Take a look at the team photo of the Kansas Jayhawks in the middle. On the left, that's Dr. Phog Allen in the middle with the mustache. James Naismith. And right over his left shoulder, back row, Adolph Rupp.
Wow, that's a pretty good triple.
Oh, my gracious. Well, in 1952, that was the Clyde Lovellette year, but Dean Smith was a member of that team. And, of course, Danny Manning is on the Kansas bench. He led the team to the '88 championship, and then they won again in 2008 under Bill Self. Morris one more. That was not a pretty one.
Nope. Left it way short. Much better there.
5-point game, 11:54 to go. Doge Balbe. Jacobin Brown. Gary Johnson with the ball now. Mario Little. Now the switch. Morning Stars back on the floor with 3 fouls. Jumper. 3. Jacobin Brown has gotten Texas to within 2. Morning Star. Kansas only 2 field goals in this half. And attacked a chance for the Longhorns now. To tie, he traveled. Tyshawn Taylor replaces Mario Little.
That's a case where Doge Balbe maybe uses another dribble or two, so Gary Johnson is catching that ball closer to the wing than out beyond the 3-point line. Again, a small thing, but a big thing.
Morningstar and Reed at the guards, along with Tyshawn Taylor.
We just saw a little bit of it. Actually, this is the weave gap that Kansas likes to run. Getting that ball side to side, trying to penetrate the seams. Ultimately, they want one-on-one matchups in the paint area.
Marquise Morris, well defended. Kansas. Oh, my gosh! Jacobin Brown and the Longhorns on the road in an arena in which they have never won, have taken the lead. Texas Longhorns have never won 0 for 7 in Allen Fieldhouse. They've never led in this game until Jacobin Brown's 3. And the possession arrow in their favor as well.
Back-to-back threes for Jacobin Brown. Much like Jordan Hamilton last year, finding a better rhythm this season as a sophomore. Foul trouble, as we indicated, a real issue for Kansas. They've been able to get the ball inside, but haven't converted. Now they've got to find a way to get a quality shot inside or out, Verne.
Markeith Morris and Marcus Morris both on the floor for the Jayhawks. There's a back screen. Almost knocked Morningstar over. Underneath, they get it there. Double team. Hill or Thompson, who's going to get the foul? It's going to be Tristan Thompson. That's his second.
Well, when you've got Tyrell Reed out there with Brady Morningstar, who's a little streaky from the three-point line, at least you have to honor those guys. And it creates room to operate in the paint for either of the Morrises.
We're tied.
Rick Barnes electing to keep Jordan Hamilton on the floor, on the bench right now, riding the offensive prowess of Jacobin Brown.
1 of 2, and we're nearing the midway point of the second half. Balbe, Jacobin Brown with back-to-back threes. Here's Tristan Thompson, the freshman. Balbe, the senior, nice entry pass, beautifully played.
Oh, that was really nice. We call that a pocket pass because there's not a lot of room to get that ball into the post player, and Balbe delivered it beautifully there. And don't underestimate the catch. In traffic, right away, clean catch leads you to the basket.
Morningstar tries the backdoor cut. Gary Johnson was right with him.
Balbe, an excellent on-ball defender. You can't leave that.
That miss by Tyrell Reed. Here comes Jacobin Brown. Back outside. Now underneath. Skip pass, Hill. Back to Jacobin Brown. Good look. Not there this time. But the offensive board, Thompson. He's really affecting this game.
Yeah, he is. His presence. Long missed shots lead to long rebounds. And the fact that Jacobin Brown has made 2 of his last 3 spaces the floor for you.
Taylor on Thompson now. That gives way. Nearing the 9-minute mark. Oh, baby, what a shot.
They are going to ride Jacobin Brown. He and Jordan Hamilton both have this uncanny ability to get points in bunches.
Finally, a shot falls for Kansas. Texas by 2. Entry pass. Thompson again, double team.
Nowhere to go.
On the line, turnover. How has Texas done it?
Jacobin Brown, the defense has been good all game, Verne. But Jacobin Brown has knocked down back-to-back triples and a tough two-point field goal. So he's had 8 points in the run, but the defense has been part of it. And then the individual brilliance of Brown as Jordan Hamilton and Corey Joseph get ready to check in at the next dead ball.
Here's Tyrell Reed. Back in the corner. In and out again. And here comes Jacobin Brown. Off the glass. Fouled. He'll go to the line. Jacobin Brown has 15 points off the bench. He shoots 2 when we come back. Longhorns overcame a 12-point halftime deficit. They led by as many as 4. Both teams under 40% shooting the ball, and Kansas has had turnover difficulty in this half.
Yeah, the defense has really been airtight for Texas in this second half. Assumption passes, losing the ball, but it's the pressure that's been applied by Texas. They had only a 2-point game, and the foul trouble really a big issue for Kansas now. And the inability to deal with Jacobin Brown. Now Rick Barnes is actually Jordan Hamilton may be coming in for Jacobin Brown. He's at the scorer's table right now.
Brown has 15 in the game, 2 for 4 at the free throw line. Uses all of the rim there, shoots 1 more. His career high, 28 against this Kansas team last year.
Well, you just look at his expression, his face. He's relishing what's transpired so far here in the second half. for him and his team. And now Jordan Hamilton. Interesting that Rick Barnes elected to ride the hot hand of Brown while Hamilton was out. Now Brown gets a break, and maybe Hamilton, after sitting down, is maybe a little more in the flow and not as antsy, especially with his team on the lead.
Bad mistake by Morningstar. And another Kansas turnover. 11 in the game.
Another big mistake right there. Everybody forgot the ball. Right now, Kansas in a tough spot, and Bill Self knows it. A good timeout call here because they're starting to fragment a little bit.
That was Corey Joseph with 3. All right, Clark Kellogg, born in Cleveland, live in Columbus. I got a feeling I know where your heart is.
Yeah, I'm probably leaning towards the Steelers tomorrow, but I tell you what, the Jets have been so impressive. I think it's going to be a terrific matchup, but if you force me to pick, I'm going with Mike Tomlin's crew.
That's tomorrow on CBS. Here's Selby. Up and under. No, missed again.
No second shot opportunities either. Texas is really taking control of this game.
Leading by 7, a 22-5 Texas run since they were down by 10 at the 14-minute mark. So that's all been done in the last 7 minutes.
Well, the defense has been constant throughout, and finally the offense caught up.
Joseph and Hill, Jordan Hamilton, Thompson, and Gary Johnson on the floor for the Longhorns. Kansas has won 69 in a row at home. Joseph, 2 more.
How about that freshman? 2 big buckets, 5 straight points for him, and Kansas unable to find an answer offensively.
Well, the last time Kansas lost here was to Texas A&M, February 3rd, 2007. A.C. Earl hit a 3, and A&M knocked them off. You know who the coach was at A&M? Bill Self's best friend, Billy Gillespie.
Billy Gillespie, that's
right. Billy, who went to University of Kentucky and lost his job there, and Bill Self and Billy Gillespie still chat almost daily. 69 in a row. Bill Self, as the head coach here, has only had his team lose 6 times in 8 years at home.
Yep. And a terrific home court advantage, and they find themselves in deep trouble. What a job by Marcus Morris.
My goodness. Let's take you back to that February 3rd, 2007 game. A&M in Allen Fieldhouse. This is A.C. Law, right side of the screen. Boy, he was a dead-eye, long-distance shooter. 3-pointer with 20 seconds to go. Mario Chalmers at the other end couldn't convert. He saved his big one for the next year, 2008.
That's right. The championship
when he tied up
game.
the game at Memphis, yep, in the championship game.
Kansas not helping itself from the foul line, Verne. Marcus gets the second one to go. No, they're going to call that he went over the line. Wow, you don't see that often.
No.
Matter of fact, that's rarely seen. And was it called on the shooter? I'm assuming it was.
It was on the shooter.
Wow. That is very rare. And a tough time for that to go against Kansas.
Jacobin Brown. Here's Matt Hill popping out. Hamilton for 3. In and out. Matt Hill tries to chase it down and can't. Substitution. Tyshawn Taylor's back on the floor for the Jayhawks. He's got 4 fouls. Morningstar goes to the bench. So it's going to be Reed, Taylor, and Selby. Tell you who we haven't seen is Elijah Johnson.
Exactly.
Today.
Well, the last 6 minutes here, Verne, Tyshawn Taylor and Selby are going to have to try to make plays, and the Morris guys are going to have to step up as well.
Remember when Texas couldn't buy a basket in the first half? Just reverse the roles. Kansas has been in the middle of the desert in this second half.
And I like this combination that Texas has on the floor, Verne. Jacobin Brown and Corey Joseph both are good with the ball, creating for others, and getting their own shot.
Matt Hill wasn't quite sure where to go with that. They put it in the hands of Thompson. Miss, rebound. Joseph brings it back out.
Got to shoot
2
it.
seconds. Oh, no! Oh, he beat the shot clock off the glass.
Excellent recognition because he knew he had a short shot clock and got fortunate with the bank.
Did he call it?
No way. He's happy to take it, though, but no way.
Foul before the shot. Look at this.
Well, you like the vision and the recognition of what the shot clock situation is, Verne. That's what's most impressive about that. Couple of things. One, your point guard goes in there and gets you an offensive rebound, pursuing the ball. Then secondly, fighting a short shot clock because the ball didn't hit the rim. He puts it up in time and gets the fortuitous bank to go down.
This is as much, well, this is the largest deficit that Kansas has faced all year long. And from the field, Bill Self's team in this half is 3 of 18.
Well, you've got to attribute a lot of that to the defense of Texas, Verne. There's something called the power of presence. When you're in the chin of ball handlers, guys when they catch it in the post, it can wear on you and create mistakes.
Tyrell Reed gets the missed free throw. Tyshawn Taylor. Selby for 3. That's the way it's going in this half.
Yeah, that's a good look, too. A good play by Taylor to get some penetration and kick it out.
4:40 to go.
Fans trying to do everything they can to get the Jayhawks going.
Selby getting a little chippy. Technical on the freshman.
Double technical, Verne.
Okay.
They got them both.
That's 4 technicals in this game.
That's a lot. And here you see the reach in. Timeout had been called. Nose to nose. Breath to breath. And then Doug Shows decides, I'm not going to have it.
Nope. I will say this. Doug Shows has been a presence in this game.
Yeah, he has been. A couple of calls I disagreed with that one. I can understand.
4:36 to go. Look at the bottom line. Kansas with only 1 timeout left. 4:36 to go. Both teams in the double bonus as far as free throws. And the possession arrow favors Texas. Jacobin Brown gets it inbounds to Corey Joseph. Now goes back and grabs it. Selby still on the floor, guarding Brown. Spin move. Still works. Oh, we got the roll.
And there was a lot of contact that went uncalled, but Jacobin Brown going right at the freshman there. The difference has been both teams have defended. Texas has playmaking. And they've had it through Jacobin Brown and Corey Joseph. The backcourt difference has really risen its head over the last 8 or 9 minutes, Verne.
Margin is 10. Under 4 to play. Hamilton goes baseline. That'll be offensive goaltending on Marcus Morris. Rick Barnes and the Texas Longhorns up by 12 with 3:45 to go. Back at Allen Fieldhouse, Taylor inbounds it. 3:38 remaining, a 12-point margin.
How about the shooting for Kansas this half? 4 of 19. Texas has made 12 of 20. Big one there.
Huge. Single-digit deficit. Tyrell Reed with another 3.
Good backcourt pressure here. Want to do so without fouling.
Offensive foul. Let's take a look at the Capital One Cup impact performance.
Probably that man wearing number 14, Jacobin Brown. He scored 8 straight to really ignite and get this game turned around. But the lead is only 9 right now for Texas.
And they call time. Offensive foul called on Texas after the made 3-point by Tyrell Reed.
Good timeout there by Rick Barnes as well, Verne, because the full court pressure is something you can expect to see from Kansas if they score again.
Off the front rim. Offensive board. Morris fouled and one.
Big-time play by a big-time player. Chasing down that offensive rebound. Contact, concentration, the hoop, and the foul. And Kansas not going away easily.
No. Morris 2 of 4 at the line.
And if he can knock this down, Verne, I would expect to see some full court pressure here from the Jayhawks.
2 of 5, gets his own miss. Out of bounds. Kansas ball. Selby and the Morris twins, Tyshawn Taylor and Tyrell Reed on the floor for Kansas. Matt Hill now replaces Gary Johnson for the Longhorns.
A little more size. Rick Barnes seeing those 2 offensive rebounds. Says, I better get Matt Hill back out there to try to deal with those Morris guys, particularly Marcus. Although Tristan Thompson is matched up with Marcus now. Hill on Marquis.
Reed. Hill gets back. Here's Taylor. Nope. Joseph, here's the full court pressure. Jacobin Brown, back to the freshman, Corey Joseph. Little cheap reach-around foul. Josh Selby.
That's a terrible foul there.
Tonight on CBS, a night of drama and mystery, beginning with CSI Miami, followed by The Mentalist, and a new edition to 48 Hours Mystery tonight on CBS. Joseph's first trip to the line.
Verne, that was a throwaway foul there.
I happened to look over at Bill Self.
My goodness.
The minute the foul was called, and he was in agony.
Well, sometimes...
Coupled with anger.
Yeah, sometimes your first-year guys don't quite lock into the situation. It can be costly. No reason to reach in and foul there. They're lucky he only gets 1 of the 2.
Oh, almost threw it away. Taylor's got it.
But when you're trying to come back from a deficit, every point is crucial.
Morris. Guarded by Thompson, the freshman. Yes! 2:25 to go, and a 6-point game. Timeout, Texas. Well, you said it's been a little physical.
Smash mouth basketball pretty much all game long. Both ways. These are excellent defensive teams with good athletes and good size. We've seen the emotions get a little carried away on a couple of occasions. But it's been as hard fought as we anticipated. And now Kansas rallying on the strength and shoulders of Marcus Morris, attacking the glass and getting into full court pressure. Texas has to space the floor, Verne, and not be content to just get the ball in. They've got to attack. They have to really attack.
Here's Jacobin Brown. He gets it across the timeline. Tyrell Reed reached in, no contact.
Nice job of ball handling that time by Brown. Kept it low and in front of him.
Selby, the freshman, on Corey Joseph, the freshman. Screen from Hill. No shot there. 10 on the shot clock.
Hill back to Brown or Hamilton.
Here's Hamilton. 5 on the shot clock. Takes it strong. Off the glass and in. Morris. And a foul. The foul's on Matt Hill with 1:39 to go.
How tough a shot is this? A tough angle, and somehow he contorts his body back and gets that up and down. My, these Morris guys, Markeith and Marcus both really trying to get Kansas all the way back here. And that's the 5th foul on Matt Hill. He's been Dairy Queen. DQs.
I knew if I waited long enough, you'd fulfill the sentence.
Yep, disqualified due to fouls. And now, big free throw here because it allows Kansas to get into the full court pressure on a make.
5-point game.
Got to defend without fouling if you're Kansas.
90 seconds to go. Joseph guarded by Taylor this time. Now Jordan Hamilton.
Tough matchup here for Reed. He's giving up size and maybe a half step of quickness.
10 on the shot clock.
Hamilton wants to keep it.
1:10 in the game.
He wants to get this shot off himself.
5 on the shot clock. Johnson. Yes! That's inside the arc. It's a two-pointer.
1 minute remaining.
Less than a minute to go. Oh! Rejected. Joseph has it. Texas has never won in Allen Fieldhouse.
Now you have to foul. Exactly.
The Jayhawks have won 69 in a row.
Verne, I go back to that play by Hamilton. I thought sure he was going to take that shot, but it points out his maturation. He wanted to make a play, whether it was a shot for him or a shot for somebody else. And when your best scorer starts to understand that in this kind of a late game situation, that is monumental. That was a big-time play by Jordan Hamilton.
Jacobin Brown cans another free throw, and that increases the margin to 8 with 48.5 to go. Another free throw. Brown has 21, and Texas, 19 of 22 at the line in the win over A&M, has excelled here, 21 of 27. Spin move, Marcus. Foul on Gary Johnson.
Foul call on 1, Gary Johnson, his 4th personal foul.
Wow.
Marcus Morris.
Well, I tell you what, if Texas is able to hold on here, still 41 seconds to go, just shy of that, it'll be due to the playmaking. Brown, Joseph, Hamilton. The Morrises have tried to ratchet it up here late, but maybe too little too late.
I don't know, haven't been here all that many times that I've ever heard it this quiet.
Hush.
69 in a row for the Jayhawks. Undefeated coming in 18-0. Texas 0 for 7 in this building. And the margin is 7 with 40.8 to go. Now Morningstar back in.
I'm sorry, Verne. Take care of the ball and make your free throws is what you have to do if you're Texas. Kansas has to try to force a turnover without fouling, but the size differential there, too much for Reed to overcome dealing with Hamilton, who goes about 6'6".
Foul in front of the Texas bench.
Well, you don't necessarily want Tristan Thompson.
No.
Texas.
Pretty smart play. Now Hamilton is getting a little argumentative. And Rick Barnes is in his face.
And Corey Joseph, the freshman over there, also discussing things.
Tristan Thompson shooting 2.
I'm not quite sure what. I think Rick Barnes was upset with Hamilton about something, and they went back and forth, and then Joseph trying to mediate.
In the meantime, the 49% free throw shooter, the freshman out of Toronto, Tristan Thompson, is 5 of 7 at the line today.
Well, you have to go with the percentages when you're facing an opponent, and he has surpassed what he normally does from the line. Advantage Texas there. How about that? Big time.
33 seconds to go. We talked to Rick Barnes about an hour before the game. He says, I think Kansas is the best team in the country, in part because of their versatility. You said, can you win? He said, absolutely.
And they've come in here and earned what they've got.
Selby for 3. Blocked. Underneath. Blocked again. Thompson got it. And the University of Texas Longhorns are going to end the 69-game win streak and win their first ever in Lawrence, Kansas.
Now we are down to 2 unbeaten, folks. San Diego State faces BYU in Provo on Wednesday. And Ohio State got a win today at Illinois.
Rick Barnes and Jordan Hamilton still engaged in an intensive one-way conversation.
Well, to me, that looks like a teachable moment for Jordan Hamilton, and also a level of respect and love. Actually, I mean, families
Disagree.
have friction,
Okay.
particularly in the heat of certain moments. So I think it's all going to be fine in light of this impressive win.
They trailed 18-3 in the first half. Here's Selby for three. They outscored Kansas at 1 point, 40-16. And they have won it for Clark Kellogg, Verne Lundquist, saying so long from Lawrence. Tonight on CBS begins with CSI Miami, followed by The Mentalist and 48 Hours Mystery. 74-63, the streak is over in Lawrence. This has been a presentation of CBS Sports on our 30th road to the Final Four.